Welcome one, welcome all, and welcome to week 2 of the Phoenix Dota League. Casters versus mods show matches. My name is Finnick, joined by Plate. And yeah, we are both from North America, despite the fact that we are casting some C and AU Dota. They're on the Singapore server this week. Unfortunately, I can't play because it would be like 300 ping from the US East Coast. What's your ping to the Singapore server actually, Plate?
Oh, it would be about like 350 to 400, something. I mean, 500. I think it goes up to, depending on the day. Being on the far east coast of Canada. Also, just have to point it out, the Dota client has absolutely no idea what it's doing with the ban images there on the top or on the left-hand side. So, you know, reverse captain's mode, eh? That's what we're getting ourselves into today. And obviously, even Dota doesn't know what it's getting itself into right now. I've got a lot of opinions about this mode.
Hold on one second while we're in the middle of draft. I forgot to set up my casting config again, so I will head to intermission real quick. Welcome back. Bans thus far in reverse captain's mode. They're banning out things that they don't want to play themselves. So Chen, Kunkka, we have Earth Spirit, Lone Druid, Brewmaster. Yeah, just all the hard heroes.
Yeah, anything that has to do with micro or using more than one brain cell. Like the worst heroes you could pick are like Wraith King or Dragon Knight, right? Like the heroes that don't require a lot of brain power to play. I would be very surprised if we didn't see something like a first pick PL coming out here. feel like that hero is both absolutely unplayable garbage. You have to play it carry if you want to get anything out of it, and it's also terrible. It feels like the perfect first pick that you'd want to get your, get the enemy team locked into nice and early.
Yeah, or something of that nature. I will say it will feel very good to cast a game where we don't see a Dazzle, where we don't see a DK, where we don't see a Slark.
We're gonna be seeing the new stuff.
Oh, Io actually being first picked for the caster side.
Oh, and the is it broken for you too? The UI is
completely
counting down on IO. Perfect, wonderful. I don't think they even tested reverse captain's mode with the. I don't think ever since they did the pick changes, right? You think that they changed it? Why would you pick a ring? That's a good hero. Okay, well, I'm already heavily favoring the Radiant here on this one.
Or do you favor the Dire, actually? Because they have the Ringmaster.
No, the Radiant have the Ringmaster. Because they're giving...
I actually don't know how the UI is done here. It could be that the timer for the Radiant side was saying that they were picking for the Dire side and they picked the Ringmaster.
The team that has the Ringmaster, I like more, because it's already a natural counter to the IO. With the ultimate, you just pop the ultimate in between the IO and the whoever the person is tethered to. It's always going to be a stun. Just a nice counter pick, actually. Which is weird because they picked it. They picked the Ringmaster into the IO. So I think the hardest thing about this game is like this game mode specifically is the brain numbing that happens, because you have to pick heroes that are good into the things that you have.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, it's like that. There's also like last week was a 5 supports draft for either team. I feel like 5 supports is probably another thing that we might see this week, because it's a very easy way to not have any damage in your draft necessarily. That's damage. Hold on.
Yeah, and that's honestly being played in PGL. So this is like a real hero, actually. Are they just gonna like not pick anything that has mana costs? Like Huskar?
5 seconds remaining.
I don't know. I really don't know what the thought process is behind this Pugnet pick. I feel like this is another decent hero, but it does kind of look like we're trending towards seeing 10 supports here in this game. What?
How does TA combo with IO, actually?
I mean, the extra attack speed is nice. The other thing too is if you're like TA flash farms so fast, you basically double the farming speed of the TA with an IO tethered to you, popping overcharge, and you get to relocate. So you get to relocate on top of fights that are breaking out on other sides of the map, right? You don't even need the blank on the TA to get active in fights. You can just go straight like Dragonlance Desolator in this game, and then say like the Ringmaster or the Pugnet, really slow initiating heroes, try to start a fight. Well, you just IO tether the TA over to whatever fight's happening, find the backline, get a pick off.
Primal Beast. I mean, the hero's not good right now, but that is that is definitely a fun mid at the very least. Could always go 3, but this is like looking like an actual draft, and that concerns me.
Well, the thing is about the Primal is that you do have the save from the ring. It's really bad under Ringmaster for multiple reasons. You just like get caught out with the ultimate. Oftentimes with the hero, you can't use your trample if you're taunted by the ult. You have a save for the pulverize as well with the Ringmaster. It's just like a very nice counter pick, honestly. So it is a bit more of a normal hero, but I think you kind of have to start giving some leeway later on into like what you're kind of tolerating your opponents to have. But honestly, like from some drafts that I've seen in the past, this is not the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. It's kind of weird, actually.
No, it would be like, the enemy team has a life stealer. I'm gonna pick 4 strength heroes on my team. Bat Rider. Speaking of heroes that aren't particularly good right now, with the Primal Beast, I have not seen a Bat Rider in months.
Oh, it's been a hot minute. I mean,
10 seconds remaining.
I just think the Bat Rider numbers are really low right now. Honestly, it's just like the beginning and the end of the conversation for the hero. You'd kind of expect him to kind of be a little bit stronger with the amount of camps that are in the game. Maybe you can like position this Bat Rider as a 3, get a couple of camps stacked up, and then use the Firefly to get a little bit more farm out of the map. It's pretty okay against Templar Assassin too. Always has been, with the sticky napalm buffed up and getting rid of those refraction charges. So maybe there's a place you can also break the IO tether with the flask if you need to. If you have that skill level, maybe nobody on underrated does, but sure it could come into play once or twice this game. But it does kind of look like they're running into a really big problem now where they just have 3 ranged supports that are not tanky at all and do an okay amount of damage at best. And it's not going to stop
with
it, is it?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the casters are trying to get some retribution on the mods from last week, where the mods had them beat very early and then consistently through all the way to the late game, and then still won. But the casters, one way to put it is the casters put up a really decent showing of it after falling behind early. The cynical way to put it is that the mods were torturing the casters by extending the length of the game a bit. Either way, PL, that's a hero that you definitely said was on the table. I would say it would be like 5 cores versus 5 supports here as the draft, but there still is this IO, and like TA could go mid, Primal could go 3, and PL could go 1. Like, this is all a feasible draft for the casters. Meanwhile, the mods, I mean, like, Hoodwink could potentially go mid. You don't really have a 1 here. Maybe they put the Hoodwink position 1 if something else shows up for them.
I think you have to go Hoodwink 1. This is the most viable option that you have right now, and like, it's not great against the PL, but you can get away with buying a Mjolnir on the hero for that AoE clear. Also, it's honestly decent into Templar Assassin when you get the lightning. If I'm not mistaken, the lightning procs individually reduce refraction charges. So, like, there's actually some like an amount of play here where the Hoodwink actually has a place in the game. With the IO tether as well, you're always going to get some decent acorn bounces too. So, like, there is something to be said about the fact that this Hoodwink pink could be good. But the problem is, you need somebody to like sit in front of the Hoodwink and do something. And I'm seeing 4 heroes that do absolutely none of that.
5 seconds.
There's a severe lack of like, there's some playmaking, there's some sustain, there's some save, but there's nobody that just like starts the fight and does anything. And if the casters play their cards right, they could just like have a draft where they are playing into 5 heroes that are very passive and just need to itemize incredibly differently to start making plays around the map.
One hero I know they won't be giving the mods is my beloved Winter Wyvern, because even though it wasn't picked last week, even though it was an all supports draft, I know Wigsy does play it as a core, which would have actually given them damage and team fight, but not so much initiation. That's really only Bat Rider. But
yeah,
I'm trying to think like what's the worst possible pick for the mods right now. What could the casters pick them?
I'm not sure, honestly. I think the AA was a decent. Well, no, AA actually kind of good into IO. It's really hard for me to think because I don't have the full list of heroes in front of my screen, and my brain is still fried at thinking about
10 seconds
like
remaining.
the logistics of this. But if I had to think about a hero on a fundamental level that the Dire don't want on their team, it's definitely something that is like another ranged hero that just sits and waits for things to happen in the team fight. Probably low damage as well. I know Wind Ranger is something that has not seen a lot of play, but is honestly okay into TA and PL, so maybe we won't be seeing that. But like one of those kinds of heroes.
Radiant team
Bane could be a
Treant
choice
Protector.
here.
This is like a legitimate team for the casters right now. The mods are trolling themselves, honestly. Or maybe the troll draft, the real troll is drafting a legitimate draft into whatever the heck their meme is and still winning. That would be that would be the real troll. Mods, you can't do this. You can't do this. Our morale as casters is already on the brink after last week. 4 seconds left in the reserve time. They don't let it go to random. They pick Clockwork.
What?
Select your heroes.
That's like actually a good support. Doesn't give them any damage, but
Well, the thing about the clock, it's like one of the hardest counters to Primal Beast that has ever existed. BKB piercing stun for the pulverize. You can't trample the clock. You can't escape the cogs. Clock can also bully IO really hard as well with the hook shot. I don't know. That doesn't seem like a really good pick for the Radiant. I do think that if they went for the Bane, it would have been a lot worse for them, but or a lot better for them. I mean, but I guess this is the game, and I don't know. This Radiant draft is more like a draft than the Dire, but it is a PL at the end of the day. I don't know if I can ever endorse a PL pick.
Is PL really that bad right now?
Dude, I wish he was like playable, but like I don't know why his Aghanim Scepter got nerfed, so it only bounces to one person. If you're gonna play PL in this patch, you have to just go like the Fusel Blade Manta. There's no way that you can go back to the Aghanim Scepter build. It's just not viable. Unfortunately.
Prepare for battle.
Wegsy's saying I got my achievement. It is worth noting, actually, since you weren't 100% aware of this, there are actually achievements set by Cat this game for the teams to potentially achieve for this show match. Rare Frog Enthusiast is a solo achievement. Get a Polywog Charm neutral item and all chat ribbit after using it on a teammate.
Perfect.
Start the game with brown boots and 2 clarities, which I believe is what Wegsy started with, and yes, it is. Promoted after killing a player, drop a crown on their dead body, and all chat you drop this king. You can pick it up afterwards. The Rings of Power have 6 ring items in your main inventory at once. Ring of Protection, Ring of Regen, Ring of Health, Heart Ring of Tarask, Soul Ring, Ring of Basilisk. I will say 3 of these items build in the one item. Actually, the IO could definitely build that.
Yeah, the IO could definitely do that one.
I don't know what a refresher would be good for on the IO, but you could definitely have those items.
Refresh the overcharge.
True.
Refresh reload.
One hero's trash. Buy a Dragon Lance on a melee hero or an Echo Saber on a ranged hero. For the purposes of clarifying this achievement, Lone Druid, Rubik, Lion with Fist of Death, Vengeful Spirit with Soul Strike, and Troll Warlord are ranged heroes, and Dragon Knight and TB are melee heroes. Team achievement, it's High Noon. As a team, collect both 12-minute bounty runes, and for Protect 5, which is give the Aegis to the lowest net worth hero on the team. They must survive until the Aegis is reclaimed. As we are finishing up our pause. Couple of tips going around. I'm curious. I feel like Like I feel like it should be a Hoodwink position 1, but she's playing as if she's the 4 here, and thus it could be a Batrider position 1, which was a thing on a patch a couple years ago.
That was like when the facets were first No, it wasn't facets.
It wasn't Facets. It was a bit. It was, yeah.
It was the shard, right?
Yeah, it was the shard, and it was the you built Manta style and just dragged people into flames. Flygon getting some cogs on Night Song, a bit more damage as well under the TA to start off the fight. Not everybody is here from the mods. Aegis not going to be able to contest that rune. Being taken down low as well. Night Song staying alive with the IO. Aegis pushing up on the high ground. Shugo nearly blocking Aegis, but he's able to get out. Flygon gets another cogs on a Night Song. He's trying to get some side blades on top of the clockwork as Aegis goes down low. Taken down by the PL, and Flygon is the next one to fall. Night Song with that kill. And the casters already got to a better start than they were last week. 2 kills, 2-0.
Yeah, that just comes down to a draft difference, really. I mean, like the, huge draft diff right now, personal opinion. Both drafts are terrible. That's what I mean by, like, normally you want to draft a good team, but I guess that's the nature of this. How many stuns are there in this game, actually? Hold on, let me do some quick math. Squirrel has 1, Clock has 1, 2. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 stuns on the Dire, and there is a Root and a stun on the Radiant. So there's like severe lack of control on the Radiant, and the fact that they got 2 kills is honestly kind of impressive. They just don't have the control that teams normally do in order to secure those kills, and yeah, nice play. It's well done.
Yeah.
I do think it's a little weird to have the IO with the Phantom Lancer, though. I do think that the Troyan Protector is a bit better of a lane partner in that lane, but especially against the Hoodwink in particular, because you can chase the Hoodwink through the trees. But should be pretty fine otherwise. Trying to think about the possibilities that the Dire have for their lineup here, because it does look like that position 3 Hoodwink is coming into play. And, mid Pugna is something that's definitely ravaged the pubs every now and then, but it is landing against the Templar Assassin, who should be doing pretty okay.
I mean, it's 10-4 to 5-1 in favor of the Pugna right now, so Aya just skill gapping. I will say, I do know Wigsy. I believe Wigsy actually plays this hero, and I know she plays Winter Wyvern 3, much like myself, so I would assume she has played this hero as a 3 before. And probably is relatively accomplished on it, and that's why they would pick the Wigsy 3 and put the Batrider 1. Speaking of, Cat ends up falling topside. Batrider just getting some damage on the Flame Break and the Firefly, and not a whole lot you can use the Train Protector, because as you mentioned, there just are no stuns on this team other than the ultimate from Train Protector and from the Primal Beast, so...
Yeah. The other thing too is that you're running a double melee lane into a Clockwork Batrider. It's really hard to live in this lane, even if the Batrider is like the numbers are a little bit low. It's just time that will make it a little bit better, and you have to spend a lot of time next to him, especially with the Clockwork, right? One of the best heroes to buy time, both peeling and keeping just someone locked down in place, just particularly in something like a Firefly. So that's something you always have to be looking out for, but should be okay relatively to just keep each other going. There used to be a time way back in the day when Train Protector was considered the best bodyguard support in lanes.
Cogs on the both. Flygon pretty low. Aegis here with the Firefly. Get some more damage on a Dr. Chops. 3 stacks of the sticky napalm. Continuing to chase. I think Dr. Chops is just dead here.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to get out of
6
this
stacks
one.
of sticky napalm, another auto attack. Aegis gets the second kill in the lane. We take a look at net worth. Batrider sitting top of the net worth charts, Primal at the bottom, and a mix elsewhere. The PL also getting a lane lead bot side, not nearly as strong as the top side lead for the Batrider, but it is working out well for Yosei. Getting some damage on Shugo with Hermai giving him the overcharge, but Shugo stays alive through the duration.
They've run out of resources in the bottom lane. Take a look at the mana pool from the Hoodwink, right? Like, a big part about keeping this lane secure is having the thread of the Bushwhack open to keep the PL off of your Ringmaster. But you don't have that right now, right? You just don't have the mana. You've been spamming out these acorns. And it's just, you're turning into a situation where you're landing into an IO who's going to have to sustain to get through the limited damage that you're doing in this lane. And it does kind of look like this this PL player's played a couple of times. So I've been seeing a couple of dodges here and there. So do kind of have to worry about that a little bit. I do still think PL is unplayable garbage, but he's having a good lane, which is very surprising.
I mean, I would say the same thing about a Primal Beast, and we're seeing how that is working.
Yeah.
I mean, grant you, I just think it's a bad lane matchup. Again, the dual melee and the clockwork, and honestly, the Batrider is a pretty good combo with it. So kudos to the mods for figuring out they should throw the Batrider mid or Batrider safe lane instead of throwing it off lane or mid. Fight happening for the 6-minute Lotus. Dr. Chop staying on there. Cat's around. They're trying to push him out. Flygon gets the cogs, and now in comes the Firefly as bot side Wagsy ends up getting the IO, but gets traded by Yosei. Meanwhile, Flygon's actually taken down pretty low. The Firefly getting a lot of damage on the Cat with the sticky napalm, so Cat goes down, Flygon stays alive, and Dr. Chop's barely able to get to that one with his life as well.
I don't know if the wand really would have saved. It was a 10 wand, but yeah, I think there was like 5 or 6 sticky napalm charges on them, so definitely wouldn't have been able to help, I don't think. But either way, 7 minutes coming up around that corner. We're gonna see. I think just a 1-for-1 trade doesn't look like the Dire are really doing anything to push that up. They do bring the clockwork in mid too.
Song getting ganked by Flygon. Gets out.
Huge gank. Massive.
I mean, Night Song sitting only barely ahead of the Pugna in terms of net worth right now. I will say the PL sitting pretty alongside the Batrider, but the difference between the Primal Beast and the Hoodwink is pretty high.
Yeah.
All things considered.
Yeah, I mean, the Hoodwink does have more than a 2 CS diff, or factor diff, I mean. 30 CS for the Hoodwink up and around the corner here, so. I mean, the Beastmaster, or Beastmaster, dude. Primal Beast and Beastmaster, I get the two of them mixed up all the time, man. Leave me alone. Stop harassing me, Nick. Okay,
I'm not harassing you at all, actually.
That was a joke! That was a joke. No, but, yeah, it's pretty quiet. I mean, 7 kills at 8 minutes for C. I mean, C is what? Very bloodbath. Dota.
There's some AU in here too. Even though it's being played on C server.
I have never seen competitive Australian Dota, so I don't know much about the region.
Most of the competitive players just play on C server anyway. It's fine.
Okay, I see. I get it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It's like server population. There is the Australian server. It exists. People do play on it.
Oh, I'm sure it does. For a long time, there was a South African server, actually. My first amateur competitive Dota experience was playing Storm Spirit for a South African Dota team that needed a fill-in. And I was a Legend 3, and I was the highest MMR player in the game, but I was playing on, like, 700 ping. And, we did not win that game.
Yeah, I'm not sure Storm Spirit was the move on 700 ping.
No, immediately regretted it when I picked it, because I was like, oh, it's like the ping won't be that bad. I can play on that ping. Nobody can play Storm Spirit on 700 ping. You can't do it. But I'm sure the ping difference between Australia and C, right? That's probably
It's actually not
like,
that bad.
yeah, it's probably the same as like what
It's probably
playing
like
as
US
EU
East
West,
to
EU
EU
East.
West. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're gonna blame the ping anyways for that death.
Oh, for sure. It's obviously the ping's fault.
Obviously,
1,000,000%.
couldn't get the
1,000,000%.
stick off. It's the ping's fault.
Yep.
Dire's
Yeah.
middle tower is
We'll see what
Ne-
kind of pings are being made in the bottom lane here.
Pushback on two. Matino ends up getting the sharpshooter onto the IO, who's forced out of the way. Cat's here alongside Flygon. Kumarai being taken down low. The save comes in onto Wagsy. She's not going to be able to get this IO right now, but Flygon has kept Cat and Yose away. Shugo fearing them back. Nobody dies yet. Nobody will die with the ganks happening bot lane and Nightsong TPing back mid.
My big question is who's going to scale on this Dire team right now? Because like the Hoodwink, the Batrider, and the Pugna are all going to hit a really powerful mid-game timing when they get the first couple of items. Like the Dagon Aether Lens for the Pugna are going to be that item pickup, and obviously with the Hoodwink, I'd be very surprised to see anything besides a Mjolnir or a Maelstrom. And like the Batrider, what the Kaya finished already, honestly was a little bit curious about if there was going to see a Kaya first or if we were going to get that blank, but Aegis opting to go for more of that proactive or greedy, I guess you could say, item build with the Kaya. So once the items start turning into like those first and second items, it really does feel like the Dire will have an advantage. But after that, like a PL with items, right? 3 items definitely starts to get online. The Templar Assassin with a few items, the BKB coming out can be a big problem. Like, it does feel like there are actual real cores on the Radiant, even if they're all individually a little bit lackluster. You may just run out of damage to deal with them on that Dire side.
Ganks coming mid for Nightsong. This TA really hasn't had a whole lot of issues setting 1-0 and 1 even net worth with Aya, and Nightsong's just playing it safe, shoving the wave, getting back in, and the wave dies to the other tower, and they're able to dodge these ganks without really even having vision on them. But the gank is coming bot side as Wagsy goes down. Should go a little bit late on the TP. Cat's pretty low. Flygon's here. Battery assault onto the Treant Protector, who's trying to dodge through the trees. Gets caught in the cogs and ends up going down.
There are some synergies with this Radiant lineup. They have the Treant Protector with the IO. I mean, they don't have any stuns, but what they do have is a lot of sustain, right? You can Living Armor the IO to heal the tether target. Can also use the tree saplings to get more healing out onto the person that you have tethered. And
well, they're going on Flygon right now.
Already.
Hold on. 2 supports versus this corner support. Save comes in, as well as the Fear. Yose still getting some damage on a Flygon. I think this is a dead Clockwork, and it is. Hermai barely surviving through that, and Cat helping with the Living Armor and some extra leech seeds.
It was very unfortunate timing for the Clockwork. If the PL didn't have the Diffusal Blade at that point, probably would have been a good kill onto the IO and you get out, but unfortunately the Courier arrived at the same time as the Clockwork, and
look from
that
Chugo.
was
Looking for Nightsong. Disarms, being sucked off and taken down by Aya. Being drained. Having their soul drained out of them by a Pugna. What else do you want me to call that, alright?
Having their life. Yeah, I mean, what the people call it the Voldemort thing, right? What is it? What is that spell called when you when they put their wand out and it made like the beams of energy against each other. It's got a name. I forget what it is.
I mean, there's
It's been a while.
there's like the Patronus and the that Harry Potter did for some reason, that which made no sense in context. The writer of those that series is a hack and also not a very good person. But there's also what is it? Avada Kedavra is what Voldemort was using. Take your pick.
Oh, is it? I see. Okay. I heard the video game is decent. Oh, goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye, Primal Beast.
Yeah.
Pretty unfortunate for the Primal, I will say.
Oh.
Ribbit.
Oh.
Ribbit. There's an achievement.
Ribbit. I think that's an achievement.
Yeah, he's in the Polywog Charm on Night Song.
So do we think we're gonna get the Rings of Power on Io? We already have 2. And it looks like the Soul Ring's gonna be built for the Io as well. Definitely the Rings of Power achievement is getting underway from this Io. So I mean, collecting achievements like they're collecting Rings of Power as well.
I forget, does Refresher actually have a recipe, or is it just the 3 rings?
I believe it does have a recipe. I mean, the Treant Protector is doing the same thing.
Indeed it is. Cat, though, got hook shot, sharpshootered, and nether blasted, so...
Yeah. This was that early game timing we were talking about earlier, right? I mean, Night Song in mid, even getting harassed down here.
Feared up by Shugo. With a name like Nether Blast, I mean, like, look, the jokes write themselves for Pugna. I don't know what you want from me, man.
That they do. They do.
Like, speaking of, goodbye to the TA as well as the Aya. Aya gets a double kill. So last week the casters had an immortal on their team in Anno, who is occasionally my duo for this league, or quite often my duo for this league. They don't have him this week, and I'm not sure if they have any other high MMR players on their team, but it does seem like mods are actually playing this weird comp that they have, if you even want to call it a comp, to a T. And Aegis got pulverized, but saved by Shugo, and Aya gets another kill on a Dr. Chop. So it's looking very good for the mods. They had a lead last week that they threw multiple times, and they still won, but it was a very long game. So we'll see if they're able to close this out. I'm actually curious if we want to play Guess the Gaben, if you remember that from our last cast.
Oh my gosh, what the heck would Gaben ever say about this game, dude? Okay,
well, just stealing enemy stacks right now. Hold on. Where am I? Trying to contest the stacks. I think this is just a dead IO. Flame break back, as well as the lasso. Chops comes in, though. Stunned by the battery assault. Can't find his way onto anybody, but Night Song's here. Takes down Flygon. Dr. Chops, though, pretty low. Still caught in the cogs. Gets feared up by Shugo. Taken down by Wagsy, and now the Flame Break lands onto Night Song, as well as the Ringmaster ultimate onto 2. Cat ult be damned, and ends up being 4 for 1 in favor of the mods.
Yeah, that just comes... I mean, you gave them the Clockwork. We mentioned it in the chat, the Clockwork, one of the best counters to the Primal Beast in Dota, and we saw it in full force there. Primal tried to pop the ultimate, couldn't do it, tried to trample around, couldn't do it, and just like the Dire completely isolating that hero. But more importantly, the ward up onto the high ground was really what did it in. They just had perfect vision of everything that was going on. Radiant going up blind one at a time, don't have the resources to really continue to fight that battle out, and they basically get team wiped. I mean, the PL wasn't there. PL's farming up
Going
that
for
crystal.
Aegis top side. Pulverized lands. Should be a nice kill streak ending. Night Song getting the kill.
Yep. Oh,
Worth
Dr. Chops
1,000
just
gold.
dropped the crown.
You drop this, King.
Yep.
Yeah, Dr. Chops had that in the inventory. Works for them, but oh my god, Night Song gets absolutely melted by Aya and Shugo.
And Tashiko, oh, this is, I don't know, this is late. This is late.
Oh no. Cat.
This is definitely late.
Oh
I don't
no.
know. I don't know if I would count this.
We
the
need
one
to
from
play
the
Guess the
Clockwork.
Gaben, actually, but Dr. Chops is...
Middle tower is under attack.
I don't know if you want to take this. It's 4v2. Trample onto Aya. And gets absolutely wrecked. Paramai. Copy the dagger. Blood grenade. Fear doesn't quite land. Flagon looking for extra damage. And the bushwhack lands, and Wegsy gets that kill. Okay, guess the Gaben.
Middle tower is under attack.
It's got to be like 23%.
It is full 100% right now.
It's 100%?
Well, Gaben actually spent 100% the whole game for the Dire, which means that I guess Gaben just doesn't work in reverse captain's
Oh,
mode.
I see. Okay, good.
Which is unfortunate because I have a tradition of making bets around Guess the Gaben on this league. Smile.
I mean, it's not. Let's be honest. It's pretty.
It's looking pretty dire for the Radiant.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Most original Dota joke of all time.
Well, I don't know. Some jokes write themselves. You know what I mean?
Hey, how you going?
Especially when Pugna sucks someone off.
Indeed. Speaking of, Aya getting saved. Ult comes in from Shugo, as well as the hook shot. Wegsy TP's in. They've got damage onto the TA, and there's nothing she can do about it. Just caught in the cogs in the battery assault. Great hook shot from Flagon to disrupt the fight before it really starts. Dr. Chops is pretty low. He has 16 seconds on the pulverize. Aya continue to move in. Absolutely massive cogs by Flagon. And Aya ends up getting another kill. Cat now running away. Yose hasn't been in a fight for a long time, but Cat just melts. Trying to get damage on Aya, who has no mana, but Flaming Lasso lands, and Yose can't really do a whole lot here. Hermai tries to keep him alive using the IO tether and the overcharge, but
Yeah, this
Or
Clockwork is
4-0.
doing so much work. So much work in this game. I mean,
I don't know why you give this man Clockwork.
I don't know why you give Clockwork, period. And the Pugna. Like, those are two real heroes. Those are heroes that are being picked at the highest level of Dota right now.
So at what point does this become mod abuse?
Under attack.
Well, I feel like it is
It's already
abuse
mod
already.
abuse.
I think it is. I think every single one of these mods needs to stop being mods, actually.
If the casters
that-
are the mods, then who are the casters?
Okay, well, I mean, it's like 9 o'clock in the morning. I haven't slept yet. This is way too early for me to do philosophy. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, is it all over for the Radiant? Not necessarily. You still have a couple of things you can get going, right? Yose has the Crystals finished up.
Is under
The
attack.
Mage Slayer, super important. BKBs, you need a BKB on your Primal Beast, you need a BKB on your TA. It's not over until the BKBs start coming out, is what I'll say.
Radiant's
Well, we're one ring away on both of the supports, by the way.
Yeah.
Or 2 rings away, actually. They need the mana ring and the other ring.
Bresk.
No,
Well,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, who's the real winners? I mean, one team is very obviously going for these achievements. The other team is just,
Hermai.
yeah,
Bye.
yeah. Her bye. Haha, got him. Did the thing. That was an original pun. You get it?
That's not really a pun.
Sure. Well, no. I don't know what do you call that when you?
It's a
Take a
form of
word
wordplay, but that's not really.
But
not
like,
really a pun
what is the name of the
necessarily.
wordplay?
I am actually not sure. I'm sure my literature teacher from high school is, you know, watching this right now, and she's about to tell me.
Frothing at the mouth.
What is that literary device? Actually, I had a really chill lit teacher for the second and final year that I took lit in high school. Nice ult lands from Cat. Aya, though, saved by a Glimmer Cape and Night Song and Flygon just wreaking havoc, taking down the tree and Protector. Aegis looking for his way into the fight. Gonna get mana drained, but he still gets the Flaming Lasso and takes down the PL as the Primal Beast has ended up falling. Aegis running away from the high ground, nearly taken down by the TA, but continues to move in with the Flame Break and gets taken down finally, but it ends up being 5-for-1 in favor of the mods.
Radiant's middle
And GG is called. Flygon saying no, you dropped this king for Aya. I want to buy Dragon
I
Lance on
didn't do
Flygon.
it.
No.
No.
And with that, the mods take this game. I'm not sure if we're going to do a game 2. I will have to ask around, but
Yeah,
if we do, we'll see. If we don't, we'll see ya. We'll be right back, potentially. Welcome back, everybody. So that was the only game for today's show match, but until next week, where we're going to have another one, my name's been Fennec, that's been Plate, and we'll see you around.
See ya.